So I've been thinking recently about the original Spider-Man trilogy. Well, Spider-Man in general, because I'd like to go see the new film. But I thought I need to watch the original trilogy. I haven't watched it in a while, and so I watched it. Obviously, the one with Tobey Maguire. Still the greatest. Probably won't be topped anytime soon. It's one of, if not arguably the greatest comic book films of all time, just films in general, to be honest. But anyway, I was thinking about them, and I was thinking of something which obviously I know Spider-Man 3 isn't everyone's favourite. Personally, I love it. I love all three. I think it's incredible. I've loved it ever since I was a kid when I first saw it. But I was thinking of something that I think would make it better, which is obviously a certain part that happens in Spider-Man 2 which could connect them slightly better, which I believe would be when Spider-Man, obviously in Spider-Man 2, I understand he has a full arc and he comes together at the end after declaring he is Spider-Man no more. But I want to just talk about the heavenly dream sequence scene that he has with Uncle Ben, where Uncle Ben's basically saying, paraphrasing obviously, as I normally do, saying, hey, this is your responsibility. You've been given these gifts. This is what you need to do. You need to be Spider-Man. You need to help people. That's your responsibility with these powers. And obviously that kind of goes hand in hand with what Doc Ock was saying before obviously he became Doc Ock, when he was like, hey, you might be brilliant, but you need to step up. Obviously before he knew he was Spider-Man. But I think, and obviously I understand, he goes through a full arc, comes back stronger at the end, better altogether. But in my opinion, something that I think should have been in Spider-Man 3, and I've always thought this ever since I was a kid, was a scene that is basically, once Spider-Man's dealt with Venom, all that, he's kind of betrayed everyone. He's turned into a real piece of something. I love it. I love Bully Maguire, but obviously he's got a lot of mending to do. And yeah, I think it would have fit nicely as sort of a roundabout way to connect them all, or more specifically Spider-Man 2 and Spider-Man 3, with, say, have a bit where you go back to the dream sequence just before he gets the classic red and blue back, before he opens the briefcase and the music swells. He opens the briefcase, red and blue's in there. I think it would have been good and sort of connect them all a bit better. Obviously I know he goes through the arc in Spider-Man 2 with fulfilling, hey, I am actually Spider-Man, this is what I need to do. I need these to not just save Mary Jane, but I need them to save people. And obviously that's sort of the anchor, as Mary Jane getting kidnapped anyway when he didn't have the powers, all that. Anyway, spoilers, I don't know why you wouldn't have seen Spider-Man, but whatever. Anyway, I think it would have been a nice little bridge to just sort of all the bad things he's done, or at the very least he believes he's done with the symbiote. I think it would have been nice to just have, and especially being that it's so focused on obviously Uncle Ben's death, and Sandman actually did it, all the things that come with that, and that's kind of the driving force for his anger. And I think it would have been a nice little connect of like Uncle Ben basically having another dream sequence with him and basically saying, hey, like, it happens, you've went down almost a similar path to obviously this Sandman. You think, you thought revenge was the right thing. Obviously it wasn't. You went a bit off the rails there with the symbiote. You're back. Don't know what that was. You're back now, and Hopefully that was the dog. That kind of freaked me out a bit halfway through a vid. But anyway, yeah, just a quick sign. You can see I've turned the other way. Anyway, yeah, and basically Uncle Ben's like, hey, you know, like, you've done just as bad things. You thought you'd killed someone, obviously being Sandman earlier in the film. It's not too late to come back. You are Spider-Man. And then have the iconic bit where he says, take my hand. And I think just have, you know, Spider-Man take his hand. The dream, you know, you don't see, you just see two hands coming together. The dream scene ends, fades out. That's when you get the music swell. He opens the crate and obviously gets the classic red and blue out. Personally, I think that's something that's the only problem I think I have with Spider-Man 3. I know some people out there who listen to this might think that's insane, and you know, maybe you're right to do so, but I love Spider-Man 3. For the longest time, it was my favorite Spider-Man film. I mean, you know, at the time I had, I think my brother at the time was about 4, and yeah, that was his favorite film, I think, ever. We could just watch that all the time, whenever, you know, any night, day, afternoon, anytime he wanted on. Really, personally, I think it, you know, kind of brought us together in a brotherly way. Obviously, he didn't care oh, this is bad, that's bad in the film. Obviously, I didn't really care either at the time. I was only, you know, I would have been about 12, 13. So I didn't really care for those things. I was just, you know, Sandman's cool, Venom's cool, New Goblin, as much as I hate that name, and it's another thing I would change, is I would just make him Hobgoblin. They have the perfect, like, silvery orange Hobgoblin mask right there. Why didn't we just make him Hobgoblin? It's a much cooler name as well than New Goblin, but I digress. But yeah, I really think that scene could have been added in. It's something that I've always thought. I thought it would always be cool. But yeah, either way, I've always loved Spider-Man 3. I'm never not gonna, you know, I love the original trilogy. In my opinion, it's my childhood. You know, I've got so many happy memories. It's not going to be topped. As much as I might like new Spider-Man films, they're always going to be the best of the best. They're, you know, flaws and all, they're still best of the best, you know.